Just like Chicken Little, that we have already heard, today's story also has talking animals as the main. A character of a story is a person or animal that the story is about. Remember that we said the plot is what happens or the events in a story. The plot of a story has a beginning, a middle, and an end, which means what happens in a story is usually told in order of what comes first, next, and last. The author of a story is the person who writes the words to the story, and the illustrator is the person who draws the pictures for the story. The title of our story you always find on the front page of a book, and it can be big or in a different color or maybe have a different type of wording. The story that we are going to hear today is The Three Little Pigs. So when we look at the image on our screen, what do we see? Did you say straw? If you said straw, you answered correctly. Straw is dried grass that is sometimes used as animal bedding. What do you see in our image here? Can you identify the material? Did you say sticks? If you said sticks, you were right. Sticks usually come from big trees. How about this image? What can you identify as the material here? Did you say a brick or bricks? Bricks are made from clay. When the clay dries, the bricks become very hard. We use bricks to build walls, houses, buildings. Each of these items that we just learned about are going to be featured in our story today. You are going to hear a story about three little pigs who are planning to build three separate houses for themselves. Each pig chooses a different building material. Listen carefully to the plot or the events of the story to find out which pig makes the best choice, especially when they encounter the big bad wolf. Remember, stories that are made up are called fiction. And this story may be a little bit different to the story that you might be familiar with. I am going to need your help during my story. When one of the little pigs says, "Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin," I need you to read that with me. Then when the big bad wolf says, "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," I need you to help me say that line as well. I hope you're up for the challenge. Make sure you're listening so you know when it's your turn to join in. Once upon a time, there were three little pigs who lived with their mother. One day the mother pig said to the three little pigs, "You are all grown up now. It's time for you to go out into the world and live on your own." So the three little pigs gave their mother a big hug and kiss and set out to find their own places to live. They walked down the road and soon saw a man with a wagon full of straw. "Why, I could build a house of straw in no time, thought the first little pig. So the first little pig said to the man, Please, sir, may I have some straw that I may build a house? The kind man gave him some straw, and the first little pig quickly built his house. He finished so quickly that he lay down contentedly in the shade to take a nap for the rest of the day. The other two pigs continued on their way. It wasn't long before they passed a man with a cart full of sticks. I could build a house of sticks, thought the second little pig. It will take a little more time than my brother's house of straw, but it will be a fine house. So the second little pig said to the man, Please, sir, may I have some sticks so that I may build a house? The kind man gave him the sticks, and the second little pig set about building his house. He finished the house with a little while, and then he too lay down contentedly in the shade to take a nap. The third little pig continued on his way. In a little while he passed a man with a wheelbarrow full of bricks. I could build a house of bricks, thought the third little pig. It's true that it will take more work than the houses of my brothers, but it will be well worth it. When something is well worth it, it may not be easy to get or make, but it is important or useful. So he said to the man, Please, sir, may I have some bricks so that I may build a house? The kind man gave him the bricks, and the third little pig set about building his house. He worked and worked in the hot afternoon sun, taking care to lay each brick just so. At about this time, a big bad wolf came trotting down the lane. He saw the first little pig napping in the shade of his straw house. Yum, yum, that pig would make a tasty bite to eat, thought the big bad wolf. But the little pig saw him coming and ran inside his house of straw, slamming the door behind him. The little pig breathed a sigh of relief because he remembered that his mother had always said that wolves were not to be trusted. Now the big bad wolf knocked at the door and said, little pig, let me come in. Do you think the little pig should let the wolf in? I'm sure you said no. Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin, answered the first little pig. Did you help me with that line? I hope you remembered that you were to help me with that line. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down, said the wolf. Did you hear the wolf huffing and puffing? And he huffed, and he puffed, and he blew the house down. As the straw blew everywhere, the first little pig ran away. Rubbing his stomach, and now feeling even hungrier, the big bad wolf strolled further down the lane and soon came upon the second little pig napping in the shade of his stick house. The little pig saw him coming and ran inside his house of sticks. The big bad wolf knocked on the door and said, little pig, let me come in. Do you think the second little pig should let the wolf in? What does the pig say? Can you help me? Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin, answered the second pig. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down. said the big bad wolf. And he huffed, and he puffed, and he blew down the house of sticks. The little pig ran away just in the nick of time. Now the wolf's stomach growled loudly. He was feeling so hungry. Soon the wolf came upon the third little pig, who had just finished building his brick house. The little pig looked up. There were his two brother pigs running toward him. Right behind them was the big bad wolf. All three pigs hurried into the house of bricks and locked the door behind them. The big bad wolf knocked on the door and said, little pig, let me come in." Do you think the third little pig should let the wolf in? No, of course not. "Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin," answered the third little pig. "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down." said the big bad wolf. Well, the wolf huffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, and he puffed, and then he puffed, and he huffed, and he puffed it some more. But he could not blow that house of bricks. "You can't get me. My house is too strong," shouted the third little pig from inside the house. "Ha!" said the wolf. "I'm stronger and smarter than you. I'm on my way up the roof, and I'll come down the chimney to get you." A chimney is the structure that allows the smoke from a fire to get out of the house. Now, the third little pig was no fool. He had already guessed that the wolf might try to come down the chimney, so he had a blazing fire in the fireplace and a big kettle of boiling water heating over the fire. When something is blazing, it is hot and bright. So the fire was hot and bright. Thinking that he was as clever as could be, the big bad wolf jumped down the chimney. Splash! Ouch! The big bad wolf jumped right out of the boiling hot water and ran away, never to be seen again. And the three little pigs lived happily ever after. What did the three little pigs use to build their house? Did you say straw, sticks, and bricks? If you did, you were careful listening to the story. Who are the characters in this story? Did you say the three little pigs and the big bad wolf are the characters in the story? What is the plot of this story? What happens first, and then in the middle, and at the end? Did you say that a wolf tries to blow down the house of the first little pig, built of straw? Did you say next he tried to blow down the house of the pig who built his house out of sticks? And then last he tried to blow down the house of the pig who made his house out of bricks? What is a plot? Did you say that a plot is what happens or the events in the story? Which houses could the wolf blow down? Did you say the one of straw and sticks? Why was it easier for him to blow down the houses made out of sticks and straw? Did you say because they are not strong, they are not easily held together? Which house could the wolf not blow down? Did you respond with the wolf could not blow down the house made of bricks? Why wasn't he able to blow down the house made of bricks? Was your response because the bricks are very strong and made the house strong?